In today's video, I'm going to give you my real estate roundup for 2020. Hi, I'm Jimmy Brockett with Oakham Realty and welcome to the Inside Track, where I bring you the answers to the questions you didn't even know you had about real estate. If this is your first time here, please hit subscribe so you can get these videos directly into your inbox. So what are we going to cover today? Well, I wanted to give you a 2020 real estate roundup review and what my opinion is of where we were, where we are, and where we're going to go in 2021. So one of the biggest questions I got asked this year is how is the real estate market? And it's very hard to answer that question because there's so many different sectors to the real estate market. But typically, this is what I thought and believed and still believe is that I'm not too sure if you remember, we had about an 18 months of a buyer's market, which is very unusual for Vancouver. That was brought on by government interventions, stress tests, new taxes. And what we saw is we saw a lot of people just step back and wait. They wanted to wait and see how it all plays out and what it meant for the real estate market. So inventory started to grow and demand started to lessen, and we had that buyer's market where the prices dropped a little bit and buyers were in a stronger position to negotiate. So that lasted until about June or July of 2019. And then people started to buy, and it was very slow. It was very incremental and not big numbers, but the market started to pick up. So everybody was getting ready for that real estate market in spring. So what we have a pent-up demand from 18 months of a buyer's market where people were just sitting back and waiting. And then we have the spring market crowd that always does business in spring. Busiest time of the year for a real estate agent. So spring comes along, inventory is growing, demand has already started growing, sales have started steadily increasing, and bam, COVID hit. So what happened? Well, the market went down a little bit. The prices didn't go down, the activity went down. Prices pretty much stayed the same. So from around about April, once we figured out the mechanics of how to sell safely in this market, the numbers started to climb. So what happened is the inventory coming on the market wasn't keeping up with the number of sales. And all that pent up demand from the buyer's market, the spring market started buying around about May. And we've been doing catch up ever since. So a couple of things that have been unusual about this year is that single family housing has outpaced the condos. And that really is just a reflection of people needing more space because they're spending more time at home. So the Vancouver market just kept going, and what this tells us as realtors is that we're in a somewhat of a unique situation. We're unique as the same as London, Tokyo, Sydney, with these markets where there is such high demand and so many people want to live there, that the demand in real estate is always super high and very little affects the real estate market, especially here in Vancouver, and it remains very robust. So what I want to do today is share a few numbers with you of where we were at the beginning of 2020, where we're currently at towards the end of 2020, and my idea of where we're going to go in 2021. So let's start with the listings. In January of 2020, we had 9,259 listings active on the market. And that grew steadily, no great numbers, but normal numbers for January, February. And they grew up to 10,376 at the beginning of March. But then obviously we all know COVID hit. And that's dropped a little bit. So we dropped down to 10,198 because people just didn't know what to do. Some people withdraw the listings and that number actually dropped, which is unusual for March. And over those months, up until September, we got up to 13,736 listings. And again, that dropped again for November to 11,416, but that's normal for this time of year. So that's the listings. Now let's talk about the sales. So in January of 2020, we had 1,573 sales. So which is a good number for January. And that steadily started creeping up until March again. And we had 2,533 sales in March. But due to COVID, that dropped straight down, but it didn't last long and it dropped all the way down to 1,120 sales in April. However, from April, continual growth. We figured out the mechanics of how to sell up until a record in September of 3,651 and October of 3,700 sales, which is amazing. And since then, we had a little bit of a climb and now we're just dropping because it's that time of year. It's a seasonal action in real estate. People tend to do less in the colder months and get ready for the spring market. So we have the listings, we have the sales. Now I want to give you the average sale prices across the board over the year. And this will give you an idea of what the sales have been doing. So sale prices average in April were $1,030,600. So So that was the average price to buy a place in Vancouver. And that steadily grew as the market came back to October of 1,113,000. And the next up is days on the market. What was the change throughout the year of the average days on the market? Well, I'm going to tell you, January, we were sat at around about 30 days average of a place sitting on the market before it sold. That actually started decreasing as it normally does because spring is coming to around about 11 days on the market in March. But then boom, COVID hit and it jumped up a little bit to 22 days on the market. And over that incline from March till now, we're around about 14 days on the market, which shows us that we're still in a super robust and great market of real estate. So all in all, what does this mean to you? Well, it means that Vancouver real estate market is still as robust as ever. It's a great place to invest. The market prices have risen over the year, as it has done in every year pretty much, apart from a few blips here and there. But all in all, it's a fantastic investment idea. So what are my thoughts for 2021? Pretty much the same. I can't see anything different. Interest rates aren't going to go up for at least 18 months, I think. I don't think Vancouver's going to turn into an ugly city, so that demand will stay high. And I think we'll see a steady increase from January, February, until we get to that March time, the spring market, and we're going to have another fantastic year, maybe even better than this year. So there you go. That's my real estate roundup for 2020. I think it's a fantastic market. I don't think it's going anywhere, and I think we're only going to do better next year. If today's video led to more questions or you're interested in listing and selling your place, don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to help you. It's going to be a fantastic market next year. And if you're looking at buying, please reach out. I know all the great areas. I can definitely help you get what you need.